Good morning, all twain. Good morning, Trubs. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. I'm London Jennn, and this is the Jennn O'Clock News. Apologies for the late start. I'll explain why in just a second. But today, we are talking Young Thug and Gunna's RICO indictment. Breaking news in the last couple of hours, Gunna has turned himself in, so we'll talk about that. We're going to talk about UK artist suspect OTB and his NFT collab. We're going to get into Gotti versus True Foe. The Midnight Madness belt is on the line. I repeat, the Midnight Madness belt is on the line for Gotti and True Foe's Ultimate Madness first round battle. We're going to ask what happened to Cassidy and Freeway. That was supposed to be a big battle, massive headline battle, big announcement. Where is it? And who does Jazz battle next? Who next for Jazz? Let's talk about it. But yes, welcome to everyone on Caffeine. Shout out Tom, salute. Thank you for tuning in. Much love. If you're on YouTube watching this later, because I've now recorded, son, I'm live.
Can't see my phone.
Okay. And son just, throwing me off because I'm not thrown off enough already. But yeah, if you're watching on YouTube, thank you very much for tuning in. Come and watch us live on Caffeine. I'm going to be here Monday to Friday, allegedly at 2 p.m. UK time, even though it's 3:37 and I've just started. 9 a.m. Eastern and 6 a.m. Pacific. That will be the normal times, but I'm trying to do a lot with this show and I'm learning as I go just quite how much I'm trying to do. And I lost a couple of hours earlier on today, so I'm playing catch up. And then because OBS hates me, good morning Dewan Southside. Yeah, I had to download and reinstall Caffeine again lots of times and do updates and things. So, yeah, it might take me a while to get to the normally scheduled start time of 9 a.m. But whatever time you pull up, this will be Jennn O'Clock, and this is the Jennn O'Clock News. So thank you so much for tuning in. Let us get to the first item on the agenda. And like I said, it's some breaking news. Not that one. Here we go. We have Gunna he's officially surrendered to authorities for the RICO charge. Now, I'm taking this story from allhiphop.com, which is my day job. Big supporter of the culture, one of the original outlets when it comes to hip-hop media, if not the original online outlet. And I'm going to be using this as a resource to get into the latest hip-hop news, as well as mixing it up with battle rap news. So yeah, Gunna has surrendered. So yeah, number one story in hip-hop this week involves Young Thug and Gunna. The two YSL recording artists and around 24 other individuals have been arrested in Fulton County. Thug is facing multiple counts connected to a racketeer, so a RICO case. Gunna has been officially arrested on RICO charges as well now. So according to county jail records, authorities charged Gunna with one count of conspiracy to violate the Racketeer Influence and Corrupt Organizations Act. So just one count is all he's been charged with. Fulton County Sheriff booked the Drip Too Hard rapper on May 11th, so earlier on this morning, if you're in the US. His charges connected to an alleged incident that took place in January 2013, and that 9 years ago. Some of Young Thug's charges also date back to 2013 as well as 2018. Young Thug is accused of street gang affiliation, being involved in illegal drug distribution and possessing a firearm during the commission of a felony. At the moment, Thugger has 9 charges filed against him. Now, they are focusing on targeting gangs who they say are committing conservatively 75 to 80% of all the violent crime that we're seeing in the community. Now, it's interesting that, you know, some of these charges sort of date back to 2013 and longer. Yeah, 9 years we're talking about. It's a long time to have been focusing on something and only just getting around to paying attention to it is something I find quite interesting. Now, another thing is that prosecutors are, did I read that like an attorney? Yeah, I have a legal background, small leaving background. Shannon, is that my Shannon? Loving this show. Thank you for tuning in. I'm loving this show too. We're just starting, just brand new, but yeah, it's going to be every day and going to chop up the latest news together as a family. So 9 Young Thugs songs have been cited in the RICO indictment, and prosecutors are using them to portray Thug as a violent gang figure. So we've just backed this up. Mad ting. Dub T, salute Dub T. Much love to you. Absolutely is a mad ting. So as we just said, Thugger is among the 28 YSL rappers named as defendants in a 56-count RICO indictment. He was arrested on Monday. I believe he was appeared first in court yesterday. So he's accused of acting as an accomplice to murder. Charges against him include, hey Slizzy, much love to you, conspiracy to violate the RICO Act and participation in criminal street gang activity. As we know, Gunna has now turned himself in. So it all stems from a long-running feud between the YSL gang and rival YFN crew, who are both connected to the Bloods. So prosecutors are using Young Thug's lyrics and his social media postings to paint him as a violent gangland dude, basically. So they've taken lyrics from 9 of his songs, the most recent one being Ski, and the earliest one from 2014, so 8 years ago. Others are from his 2018 collaboration with Nicki Minaj, Anybody, and he says, I never killed anybody, but I got something to do with that body. In 2018, on Just How It Is, they're looking at the line, gave the lawyer close to 2 mil, he handles all the killings. And in 2002's Take It to Trial, for slimes, you know, I killed. Trial, I done beat it twice. State, I'm undefeated like Fegs, Fegs came and snatched me. So those are the sort of lyrics that they're looking at and using against him in the indictment to try and, like I say, portray him as some violent gangster. Those are lyrics that, you know, you'd find in many a rap song. And it's, you know, there's a big movement going on in the US to try and exclude lyrics. And in fact, in the UK as well, both countries are trying to petition to their respective governments to protect artists and their freedom of speech in their lyrics. We'll have a look and see what the Fulton District Attorney, Fannie Willis, has to say.
Where essentially was there evidence supporting the legal petition. I'd like you to speak to the First Amendment issue that
this issue's been ruled on by the courts. I knew that question was coming. I believe in the First Amendment. It's one of our most precious rights. However, the First Amendment does not protect people from prosecutors using it as evidence if it is such. In this case, we put it as overt and predicate acts within the RICO count because we believe that's exactly what it is.
That's what she says. Well, Young Thug's lawyer, Southside, you say most of those charges are going to be dropped. Well, Young Thug's lawyer says he's innocent. He's committed no violation of law whatsoever. We will fight this case ethically, legally, and zealously. Mr. Williams will be cleared, stated Brian Steele, Young Thug's lawyer. I'll tell you the response to any allegation. Mr. Williams has committed no crime whatsoever, and the super committed lawyer says, we will fight to my last drop of blood to clear him. we're going to look at one more interesting thing in this case, which is Gunna, with the only one charge against him. Questions are, will they try and lean on Gunna to get him to cooperate and maybe talk about, you know, others involved? They rounded up 28 people. Obviously, Young Thug and Gunna are the most high profile.
Have reviewed the indictment. The only charge on Gunna is the RICO charge. They don't have him charged with doing anything. They don't have him selling a kilo of
Sorry, let's bring it right back to the beginning.
cocaine. They don't have him pulling the trigger, buying a gun.
Of course I can.
Have reviewed the indictment. The only charge on Gunna is the RICO charge. They don't have him charged with doing anything. They don't have him selling a kilo of cocaine. They don't have him pulling the trigger, buying a gun, possessing a gun, nothing. The only charge against Gunna is that he was actually in the gang, that he participated in it directly or indirectly. So that could mean a lot of things. That could mean, hey, we know you're in the gang and you were at this thing and you chipped in. That kind of thing can get you charged.
Okay, so now that Gunna has turned himself in, we know he's definitely facing one count. But we have to see, this piece here says, there seems to be a way out for Gunna, and that is cooperation, in my opinion. I'm thinking that there will be others presented with the option. Over 20 people were arrested, so that means there are numerous people that could start singing. For some reason, I think law enforcement wants to make an example of Young Thug and Gunna. They have the most visibility, and they are the sort of perps cops dream of busting. Hit with the RICO. Basically, this is saying these guys were part of a criminal enterprise. This law was created for the mob. I guess what they rap about, they be about, allegedly, of course. And then, yeah, this is Thugger's arrest. So this is a developing story. Of course, 6ix9ine took the opportunity to troll both Gunna and Young Thug. We won't even get into that, but of course, you know, this is what he does. Next story, really cool story here from the UK. Suspect OTB rapper. I think he's been around since about 2016. Worked with some of the dopest artists here. Put out a trilogy of mixtapes that was really successful. And he has linked up with a former drug smuggler turned artist for this unique NFT collab, flipping the brick concept into positivity. And he's got a new single to go along with it, Brick by Brick, which is alongside an innovative NFT collab with Stephen Me. Now, Me began his life of crime aged 9 years old. And a few years later, he received a 30-year prison sentence for smuggling cocaine. He did 16 years inside, and while he was in there, he began studying art again, which was one of his first loves. And he came out, he created this unique immersive arts installation and decided to transition into the metaverse. So we're going to have this will give us a quick listen, a little snippet of the Brick by Brick track and little preview of the art installation. So it's fashioned after his prison cell.
I could put some rocks together, make a hit. Or I could put some bush with butter, make a bricks. Right. Said I could put some rocks together, make a hit. Or I could put some bush with butter, make.
Let's give a few details about the project. So the song is about reimagining the meaning of the bricks that are now being represented as NFTs, suspect says, and building the foundations for Stephen and I to connect to others creating art in this digital world. Taking the bricks that form my prison cell into digital space as NFTs represents the idea of rebuilding a life in the metaverse, a place to create something new, which, you know, after 16 years confined to a cell is, you can understand why he'd feel like that. Now, the actual the actual NFTs are digital recreations of the bricks used in Me's exhibition, which was an immersive installation made out of 640 hempcrete bricks, modeled after his former 6x6 prison cell. Everyone knows that gangsterism is cooler if it's Italian dudes with suits. Well, I mean, the point there was that, oh, I guess we've also got this smuggler guy here. Yeah, it's I guess different cultural backgrounds are viewed very differently when it comes to criminal gangs and organizations, and there's a big romanticization of the mafia, which this, you know, RICO law was created for, and now it's been used yet again to target rappers. But yeah, this is kind of what does OTB sounds, ounces to bricks. Stephen Me, someone who was incarcerated for 16 years for smuggling cocaine, turning, you know, their experience into this. And I believe as well, the hempcrete bricks are made from hemp, of the cannabis family, and they're completely sustainable and actually a better building product for various reasons than any of the you know, construction materials that we use now. So some really dope stuff in there. And the blockchain technologies allows NFT holders to gain music royalties. So that is something really unique. Now, so yeah, Me and Suspect share a mutual understanding of the brick concept, and they are positively flipping the obvious connotation into art and music. That's okay, getting good at this. So what do we think about NFTs? Do you understand NFTs? Are you for them? Are you already entered the metaverse? Do you think they're a con? What's the deal? It's something that you see rap, hip hop linking up with. A lot of the big artists from both sides of the pond are you know, creating their own NFTs now. Snoop has his own, you know, real estate in the metaverse, which is worth gajillions, like literal gajillions. So you've got a couple, have you, Jacunti? I hope I'm saying that right. Yeah, it's something that obviously as time goes on, I think we'll see just how much of an impact. But what is it, Web 3.0? I don't know which number we're at yet, but yeah, catch up and understand. I think it's something we've all kind of got to get on board with to some extent, because a lot of things are moving into a digital framework. Rather than, oh, I missed that, I'm sorry. It's like owning a fire extinguisher just in case. That's a great point. If a lot of people did that with Bitcoin, or, you know, shares in Uber or Facebook, those sorts of things, if you can get in early and have a disposable income that you can afford to lose. A lot of these things are risks, so you can't invest more than you can afford to lose. Don't put the house on these things unless you know precisely what you're doing. But if you're a casual consumer, the way to go is, you know, if you can afford to, some of these things can be big payoffs, like you say, Jacunti, when you get in early. You just like the creativity behind using NFTs to send a positive message. Yeah, absolutely. And the whole brick concept, using, you know, time in prison. I'm sure there's a lot of powerful imagery and things that come from that. So yeah, what we're going to do, let me see if I can